Hello, the composer here from the original Sin 2 modding community. Someone recently asked in Discord if it was possible to do a name check, and yes, it is. So I figured I should start a fancy tricks section, I don't fully know the name yet, for my tutorial series, where I do one specific thing that I think is pretty cool, and how to do it. So, there can be multiple things that someone mean by a name check. So I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna make a dialogue check for the name of the player, and also discuss how you could do this to check certain things, like have something happen only if the character is named a certain thing and stuff like that. So let's jump into it right now. Okay, so I've set up a very basic example here. Now what's gonna happen is if I hit play and I've temporarily renamed her as well. In the game she's known as Kara, so if she talks to her, "You're breathtaking, Kara is such a beautiful name." Now if I switch to the real person that was supposed to be named John Wick, and he talked to her, "You're breathtaking, John Wick is such a beautiful name." Now what's going on here in the background is that whenever this dialogue starts, it checks the player speaker in index 1 and gets their display name, and it adds that to a variable that we add in the dialogue. It's fairly simple. Let's end that dialogue and see what's going on under the hood. The script looks as simple as this. When the dialogue starts, and this just checks every dialogue, this is my global helper that I just do to get names, and I have that key bound on my keyboard so I can easily just do *p name and I get my variable. So I like to make some small cheats for myself that way. Anyway, so when the dialogue starts, you get the involved player in index 1, and it gets their display name and links that reference in the variable for that dialogue instance. I actually noticed one thing that I need to change as well. It was something I was experimenting with. This should be, oops, like that. Anyway, I'm gonna build that before I forget. And on the engine side of things, if I open my dialogue editor and hit tools, dialogue variables, and I'll open my mod, you'll see I have DC get name here. Now what you could do on your end is you want to hit create and you name it your namespace. Let's say your mod name check, right? And this has to be a string because strings are a combination of letters, as the names are, the display names. Description not strictly necessary, could be a default value in case it doesn't find anything. Let's do unknown, and you can hit save. Now your variable would be this, along with the brackets on each side. So in a dialogue, say that we did save that variable, we could do hi bracket your variable, and that would be it. That would say hi Kara exclamation mark if the name of the player was Kara, and of course your script would need to be a tiny bit different, where this right here would be this instead. I'll be posting this code in the description. It's relatively simple, so you can copy paste it if you're really lazy. I do however recommend writing it yourself. You learn a lot more if you actually do write it by hand instead of copy pasting. So the next step was that if you want to do a name check, say that you want something to happen only if a player is named a certain thing, right? I started experimenting with this over here, where I added a name check filter. So I'll do, let's just leave John Wick, that was the elf, whereas our player Kara doesn't fit this bill. Now if the script works, I haven't actually tested it, so we'll test that live. what's going to happen is if I step close enough to Miss Namechecker, she will approach the player and start her dialogue automatically. Fairly simple, kind of purposeless, really, but it's just to see if it works. So let's go right ahead and do that. I'll close down all these windows. No, I don't want to save changes there. I do, however, want to change there. I sometimes have a habit of opening project instead of just reloading, just to get rid of all. Sometimes not everything refreshes when you reload level and story, so I guess that's just a habit. Anyway, now if I fly over here and the box starts roughly with the grass, so I'll put Kara there, and I hit play, the elf is over there. How did it get there? I'll teleport him over as well. Okay, so if Kara steps close to Miss Namechecker, nothing should happen. Talk, you're breathtaking. Kara is such a beautiful name. However, if John Wick does that, she approached and talked to him. So she only follows and talks to John Wick, not Kara. This is an event trigger as well, so there's no reason why she shouldn't do that twice. Let's see if we can run away from her. I'm not entirely sure where it starts. There. Okay, go, go, go. She's gonna follow. Hey, I want to talk to you. Hey, stop. Hold on. I just want to say you're breathtaking. No, you're breathtaking. So there. Yeah. Now we have a condition that a certain thing happens only if the player is named a certain thing, and I could just add more people to that database, or I could just do one specific name, but say that you want a list of different names, right? So if I want to have this done to anyone called John Wick, or Bob, or Sven Vinke, I'm not sure, I think it's CK, or Robin Hood, or Robin. So if the player has any of those names, she would approach them and talk to them. If they don't, she won't do anything. And yeah, the only limitation here is your imagination. And that's it. That's the answer to that question. Yes, you can do name checks. And it's really cool, to be honest. There's tons of stuff you could do if you let your imagination come to those ideas. I hope you enjoyed this. I have nothing more to say really. If you enjoyed it, do subscribe, follow me on Twitch. All the links and codes should be in the description below. I hope you have a good day and see you next time.